We did it. We're live.
Here we
Control,
are.
copy.
Oh, look, you can really see the dogs playing.
And destroying their toys in the background. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry you have to see this. Oh, wait, that's right. I did it wrong. Can you believe it? Command, copy.
You did it wrong?
I did. I mean, not all of it. We're still live streaming.
I see.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Let's see. How many do we have? We got some folks. Yeah, we got like over 100 folks.
All right.
We got folks and folks and folks. Hi, everybody. I'm Travis McElroy, the husband host Schmanners.
I'm Teresa McElroy, the wife host of Schmanners.
Can you hear us okay? Can everybody hear us? Can everybody hear us?
Let me tell you, a little weird.
Why?
There's a slight delay. So.
Like between your brain and talking?
No, between what I'm saying and what I'm doing, and
so like, wave. Oh, there's not that much. Oh, it's a little trippy. Whoa. Hi, everybody.
Okay, so it's just like...
Hey, so we're here because it is Max Fun Drive 2019. And in case you don't know what that is, so MaximumFun.org is... Teresa's a little quiet. Okay, hold on.
Oh, my microphone
you pull that a little bit closer.
Far away.
How about now?
Is that better?
I bet it's quiet. Better. Can you hear Teresa better now? Say something.
Hello, everyone. Please let me know.
We're better. Okay.
You can hear me now.
So Max Fun is a donor-supported network, which means that while we have advertisers, we rely on donors for the majority of our donations. And so once a year, we take 2 weeks and we ask that you consider becoming a donor by going to MaximumFun.org/donate. And when you do, you pick the level of donation that feels right to you and you list the shows that you listen to. And those shows receive support directly from your donation. So it's a really great way to directly fund the art that matters to you and know that you are a part of something great.
And get some really sweet gifts.
Oh, yes. Including, I think Justin did the math. It's like 225 plus hours of content in the bonus content, including an Adventure Zone Dungeons and Dragons with Lin-Manuel Miranda, his first time ever playing, I believe, in my steampunk world that I created.
Now, I have to say, Travis, every time I do one of these with you, not these, but like a recording with you, it seems that you are more and more specific about the amount of hours.
That is true. I think the first time we record like on Monday, it was like 100 hours. And now it's like 225. Pretty soon it'll be like 236 hours and 27 minutes. Our puppies are in the back. You can see the fluff here. This is the detritus. They only last about 20 hours. And then
I think that Lily's record is 2 hours.
Yeah, if not sooner. I mean, depending on the toy, stuffed toys for sure. So because it's hard to keep up with the comments on the side, they go so fast. And the puppies will be in and out, I promise. The puppies will be in and out. So we have some questions ahead of time, and we'll take turns asking each other. This is from DJ Crime Dog, which maybe is a given name. Is BB nice in person?
She's 2. So her empathy levels are really just starting out. So I wouldn't say that she's nice. I would say that she's predictable. Because she will do something that's not necessarily very nice, but then give us a nice hug when we say, ouch, that hurts, or it's important that you share. Can you show me how you share? So, I mean, that's not nice, but we're trying to teach her to be empathetic.
Oh, I see what it is. Okay. Teresa was on a different microphone than I thought she was. Does she sound better now?
Do I sound better now?
I bet she does. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I agree. Here's the thing. BB for a long time only said yeah. And so it was always really funny to me to say to her, like, are you a jerk? And she'll be like, yeah. But then I would test it and say, like, are you nice? And she would go, And I would say, are you mean? And she would go, yeah. Or like, do you want to be, do you want to be a jerk? And she'd be like, yeah. So I don't know, maybe.
Oh,
Did the puppies push
puppies
you?
are moving my chair.
Buttercup, come here. I'll spin you back around.
Would you ever do a Schmanners / McElroy show in Scotland? We love you in Scotland.
Yes, of course we would.
Oh my gosh, can you make that happen?
I'll do my best.
We love Scotland.
We went to Scotland for a honeymoon.
Honeymooned in the Highlands.
We also went to Inverness.
I forgot to say that this is from Lauren.
We spent time in Inverness because of my obsession with the Loch Ness Monster. We went out on a boat that had a bar in it that would take you to like a 14th century castle and also had like sonar going in the water, which was super cool. I loved it. Lost my mind.
And we stayed in a very small town for most of the time. At the
do you remember the name of it?
Craigendarach?
Well, that was the name of the mountains. I can't remember.
No, the name of the mountains is the Carragorn Mountains.
Craigendarach. I don't know. Yes.
It was a Hilton hotel in the Highlands because my parents very kindly
they gave us their timeshare
honeymoon gave us our timeshare. Are people saying whether it's good?
No, they're saying it's fine. They're all talking about the dogs.
They're talking about the dogs.
They're the real star. They're upstaging us. It's fine. But yeah, so we stayed at this place that had like a bunch of houses, but only like one road that had like a pub, a butcher, a baker, a bank,
a toy store.
Yeah, and so like we went and bought a lot of our like real, we bought like food there and just like baked for ourselves. It was great.
It was really
but
nice.
We loved it very much. We went on a horseback ride through the Highlands. It was amazing. It was incredible.
On Norwegian fjord horses.
And we also went on a couple different whiskey tastings. Let's see.
We went to the Glenfiddich. We went to the Royal Lochnagar.
That's one of our favorites because the Royal Lochnagar still does like in like wooden barrels with like wooden everything.
I think we did one.
Somebody asked about Teresa's hair, by the way. When we hit 10,000 new and upgrading donors, we have a hair tutorial that she shot and I edited that we're going to put up on our YouTube channel. The one you're watching right now.
Right here. Once we hit 10,000, it is a heat set. So not victory rolls.
Don't give it all away.
Well, people ask for a lot of different things.
Okay.
Not victory rolls. Although if this gets a good response, I will definitely do more.
Yeah, there you go. This is from Lakshata. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing. At what point did podcasting go from a fun thing to a full-time career?
The move to California.
Yeah. So really? Teresa and I both had jobs that were just not sustainable. Maybe they would have been. Mine wasn't.
His wasn't.
I was working like 100-hour weeks. So I was the technical director at a theater.
60-hour weeks, probably. 100-hour maybe while you were doing
install.
So
I was a technical director at a Shakespeare company, and like it was me and like one other person, or Teresa if she was available and not working.
I wonder if I can see the comments better if I get on it with my phone.
Who knows? But like it was exhausting and it wasn't the work I wanted to be doing. But at the same time, we were doing the podcast, and then at one point I came home and I was very sad. You gotta mute it. And I came home and I was very sad because the work was I found out later literally depressing. And not that I didn't love the people, it just wasn't what I wanted to be doing. And Teresa looked at me and said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I want to do the podcasting full time and move to LA." And she said, "Okay." At which point we turned into a full-time career. What are your favorite books to read to BB? We do a lot of word books.
We do a lot of word books, but my favorite.
That sounds like a thing of someone says when word books. No, books that have like the word on a picture, and you can say like apple.
Yeah, because she is a little behind as far as speech goes. But my favorite are the Sarah Boynton books.
Oh yeah, there's one that's the Going to Bed book.
Yeah,
that is
like that one. I love the Barnyard Dance.
I like the Belly Button book. That's a good one. Birthday Monsters is just super fun.
She loves Birthday Monsters.
This is from Avery. Oh, that last question was from Hope. Thank you, Hope. Is Zeke Loki the best character on Bob's Burgers?
Yes. We love Zeke.
We love Zeke. It's nice.
He's
to have
got a lot of really great one-liners at the end of shots.
That's kind of the whole thing that Bob's Burgers, I think, really thrives on. Amazing. I wouldn't say throwaway jokes, but like non-focused jokes that are incredible. But like Zeke, the scene where Zeke is dressed in the mascot costume of the whaler going get always makes you laugh. Let's go. Let's see, we're down here.
Anna Espinosa says Mary Sue Mel Gang or Sandy Knoll Prue Crew. And this is in regards to Great British Bake Off. So here's the thing. I have seen both of them. I love them in different ways. I really like the way that Mel and Sue almost they know what each other is saying, like they're twins type deal.
Yeah,
like
they
can
worked
finish
together
each other's
long
sentences.
before Great British Bake Off, so their chemistry is boom, boom, boom.
But Noel and Sandy, Noel especially, just has this. It's almost like innocence about his humor.
He if you've ever watched Mighty Boosh, which we have, like I'm trying to remember, there's one episode where he describes himself as something like a dandy or something, and he a little bit is. You gotta stop looking at our own video. It's tripping me out.
I'm not looking at the video. I'm trying to read the comments.
Noel is a blessing, someone just said in the comments, and I really love that. But I will say I do miss Mel and Sue, and that I think Mel and Sue were a lot more like comforting.
Hey, thank you, Bernadette. Thank you for upgrading your Max Fun membership.
Yes, thank you so much. I think Mel and Sue, they had this way of comforting people when they made mistakes and helping out. That don't get me wrong, Sandy and Noel do too. I also, it's so hard to let go of your originals because, like Mary Berry, it's so hard for me to stop loving Mary Berry.
It's true. I do think that I don't think that Prue and Paul are really as
I think they're too similar.
Yeah, that's the thing. Mary Berry was really coming from home cooking, where Paul
Can you all hear Buttercup in the background, by the way? That's her love song to Lily. That's how she sings to Lily to get her to play.
Paul was coming from, professional bakery, and he has several hotel like experiences.
Yeah.
But I think that Prue isn't really as home bakery.
Yeah, it's just a different feeling. That's really what it comes down to. Eli asks, what sort of things, trivial or big, make you think about how much you love each other?
Let me think.
For me, it's so Teresa is the first person I ever knew that I consistently loved more than myself, which sounds like a joke, and it absolutely is not. She is the first person that I
butt.
Yeah, there's a dog butt over there. She's the first person that I really because it looked like I was pointing. Dog butt. She is the first person that I wanted to consistently put her needs before myself. You take your time. You be funny over there. That's fine.
I'm trying to cover the dogs.
You're doing great. Hey, ladies, take it outside.
Oh, rough. No.
You never guess it. Buttercup, the 20-pound one, is way rougher than the 50-pound dog.
She is aggressive with Lily.
Here they are.
It's a good thing that Lily is so big, really, because Buttercup does not play nice.
Hey, you're making us flip down. We're trying to do a live stream. So I think it's that Teresa is very gentle in her guidance. I've never felt like she was trying to change me or any of that bull crap. It's more that just she wants me to be my best self, but lets me make my own, all that stuff. I mean, that makes me sound like a child, and in many ways, still far off. But I like her a lot. And I'm getting to a point where I can anticipate her needs. I think that
what I really like about Travis. One of the things is I love when he quotes what I have said back to me. Because it's a love language in a way. He's listening to me. So
actively.
Let me tell you a story about this. At one point, Travis had run out of toilet paper in his bathroom, and so he texted me, because everybody takes their phone to the bathroom, texted me about his need of toilet paper, and I brought down 2 rolls.
We're very close. We love each other very much.
I brought down 2 rolls, and I said, here's an heir and a spare, right? Well, lo and behold, sometime later, I ran out of toilet paper. Was it my bathroom, or was it this bathroom? It was this bathroom again.
My bathroom's the preferred. We have the bidet in there. Listen, I don't want to brag. We have a bidet. It's
and I needed
it's a
toilet
bidet
paper.
seat that you add onto the. I don't want you to think we have a separate bidet. Come on, who are we?
I needed toilet paper, and so he brought down an Air and a Spare as he handed it to me, and I was like,
listen.
"Aw, he's really listening."
This one down here.
Oh, okay. The last one on the page. Yes. 2017. Nice, right? Why did you decide to make a podcast with your brothers? Whose idea was it?
Well, as far as whose idea it was, that changes depending on who you ask. But I will swear up and down that it was Justin's, because Griffin and I were moving away from Huntington, our hometown, to move to Cincinnati. And at that point, Justin and Griffin were doing the Joystick podcast. And Justin was worried with us moving away that we would fall out of touch. And he said, let's do the podcast so that we have an excuse to talk every week. And so it really started as an excuse for us to stay in contact with each other. And then people seemed to like it. So it kind of developed from there. This is from Ryan. How do you maintain such a positive attitude and outlook given our current political situation?
Oh, man, I completely ignore it.
Yeah, everybody has their own self-care when it comes to it. Frankly, like Teresa has a friend named Maggie and our friend Alice and myself, who if she's interested on a topic, she'll ask us about and we tell her about, right? And so that way she knows, like, ignore it, but you're not uninformed.
I'm not uninformed, but I have curated my social media feeds so that it doesn't cause me pain on a daily basis.
Right.
Because if you don't, you can really make yourself seriously ill, mentally and physically, with all of the craziness that goes on. So absolutely, I find things that are important. It's the filtering, right? So instead of the whole big like funnel, I usually get to things that have come to the bottom of it because I just can't. And I'm sorry if anybody finds that that insulting, because it is important to be involved in your world, but there's just so much that I can't handle it.
I think
I'm gonna go look at the comments and see what happens.
No, everybody thinks you're great. On behalf of Teresa, it's not that she doesn't know about this stuff. It's that, trust me, I know her. If she started going down the rabbit hole of like researching it, she would not stop. But for me, researching is my key to filtering it. So like trends like these, which is one of the shows we do on Max Fun, which if you enjoy and you are a supporter of, please consider going to MaximumFun.org/donate. But for me, it's, you see so many reactionary headlines and like terrifying coverage that for me, going the step beyond to actually research what the actual situation is and what is actually like happening in the scenario, that lets me contextualize it in a way where it's like, listen, if you just read this headline, it seems terrifying, but actually here's what's happening. So trends like these has done a lot for me to like normalize a lot of, not normalize, but like contextualize a lot of what's going on.
I do want to say, I did check the comments after I said my piece, and yes, it is a very privileged outlook. And I recognize that there are people who don't have the privilege of ignoring the world until something, distills itself down. Absolutely. You are correct. It is privileged, and I acknowledge that.
This question here.
Let's see. This top one?
No, second
one. Travis. What made you start watching Supernatural? Does Teresa watch it with you? No, absolutely not. I do not.
It's too scary for her, which is interesting to me because most of the time while I'm watching Supernatural, she's watching some kind of dermatology video or something that creeps me out.
I am into pedicure videos on YouTube.
Yeah, creeps me out. But Supernatural, it's all fake because it's not real, so it's fine. I actually watched it when it first started airing. I watched the first season live. And fell off of it because I'm not very good at watching TV as it's actually airing. I'm far too impatient. And so I I actually started watching because we did an episode of My Brother, Me, where we talked about that they were going into their 15th season and there were like over 300 episodes. And Justin made some joke about like, you could never catch up on that. And I was like, well, time to watch it. And so I started and I really love it. I really do. I'm on season 8 now and I enjoy it. I think the writing is fairly good. I will say the first 5 seasons are definitely stronger, but there are some standout episodes in 6 and 7 and some like character work and amazing storylines and really interesting stuff in 6 and 7 that like, it's not even like I'm forcing myself to watch it. I really enjoy watching it.
I want to bring something up. Maybe I think it's on our question list. The Kind Rewind.
Oh yeah. We got some of that.
Let me tell you about that. First of all, Travis and I enjoy different things as far as television movie business goes. We do have a lot in common. But at this point, we're not really into the Kind Rewind as much because our interests divulge.
Well, and not only that, as BB got older, finding time to watch and discuss was like, well, we're like double dipping on this thing. And like most of the time, the only window of time we really have in a day is like nap time and after she goes to sleep. And after she goes to sleep, we don't want to do anything. You're lucky we're here. But during nap time, like that's usually either our nap time, our lunch time, our research time, whatever. Like we don't
our recording time.
Yeah, where I do a lot of My Brother and Me during that time, or Adventure Zone or Schmanners. We don't really have time to do Kind Rewind. I don't know if you've noticed by looking over my thing, but right now I've really scaled back the number of shows I've done. And right now, Run and Positivitini are the only like I don't want to say productive, but non-capitalized shows regular shows that I do. And I do Run because I love working with Tybee and I love talking about Doctor Who. And I do Positivitini because I love working with Erica and Amy and I love the show. But Run we don't do every week. We do it when we can. And Positivitini, we can bulk record a bunch of them ahead of time. So that's the thing. This is another good time to mention MaximumFun.org/donate, because the reason we are so consistent with Schmanners and My Brother, Me, The Adventure Zone, Trends Like These, Sawbones, Still Buffering, and Wonderful is because we know it matters to you, because we have people out there who are counting on us. And because of your support, because of your donations, we're able to make it a priority. So also somebody mentioned that my fingernails aren't painted. It's because I just had them painted for like 3 months in a row. And I got back from the cruise and they were all chipped, all to HE double hockey sticks. So I cleaned them off so I could have some time off before our next tour. Let's see. Ted,
a lot of people are commenting about the dogs destroying this Triceratops,
but they're doing it together. How sweet! Oh, my purpies.
It looks like Buttercup is licking the Triceratops while
a little bit.
Lily is gnawing its face off.
Ted asks, what brand of hair dye do you use? Whatever I use fades quickly. How do I get better purple hair? Mine, the color is, I think it's just called Vivid. And honestly, I don't know the brand because I go somewhere and have someone do it. Because if I tried to do it in my own home, I would turn my entire bathroom purple. Eli asks,
and probably all of my towels and all of my sheets.
Yes, absolutely. Instead of just some of our towels. And so it's not your towels and it's our towels and our sheets.
But we're married, so everything that you have is mine.
Yeah, but it's also mine.
No.
Wait, hold on. Okay. Eli asks, was there a particular moment when you thought, I want to spend the rest of my life with you? No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, actually.
Which one? Because there were 2 for me.
There were 2 for you. There was 1 for me.
Was it our date?
No.
Okay, then I'll tell the date and you tell the other one.
Okay.
So we went on a date February 13th, and it was like our first official date where it wasn't me tricking her into hanging out with me. It's a thing.
And if you've listened to our podcast, you know about that date.
So I asked her out. We went out February 13th, and we were supposed to go see Crazy Heart.
It was really, I think, just an excuse to go to the movies.
It was on. But we got there too late for the first showing. So we got tickets for the next showing, and we went to a bar in the same complex. And we ended up having such a great conversation that I went up and like refunded our tickets, and we ended up sitting at the bar and talking for like 4.5 hours. And like, it was at that point I was like, I know how interested I am in this person, and this person, I never want to stop talking to them. So that was like our first date for me.
Mine was, so we had decided when our roommates were leaving Cincinnati, that we were not going to go to Chicago with them. We were instead going to move in together. And we
Oh, there's a squirrel or something outside. Bubba, come here. Hey, come here. Good girl. Go ahead.
Girl. And we had begun our apartment hunting, thinking of 2 bedrooms, because we had only known each other like 3 months.
Yeah, we were looking at like 2 1-bedrooms. Is that what I mean? Or
no, 2 bedrooms.
Oh, right.
We were looking at 2 bedrooms, and I fell in love with this beautiful little apartment in Pleasant Ridge that had this amazing chef's kitchen.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was huge. It had a gas range. It had double ovens.
And
it had
so much counter space.
It had a farmer's sink, so like a deep tub. And I was like, oh, I need to have this apartment. I love it. But it only had 1 bedroom. It did.
So there wasn't a lot of wiggle room if we broke up.
It did have a bonus room in the back.
That's what I used for my office, but it really wasn't big enough to put a bed in, and it wasn't air conditioned.
It was big enough to put like a twin bed in, and that's it. Yeah. Nothing else would have fit in that room. Anyway, we checked out the apartment and we put in our application, because when you find an apartment, you put in an application and you hope for the best, so you put in a lot of applications. And after we did that, we took a walk down the street.
We went to dinner at Gaslight Cafe.
We went to dinner and then we took that walk?
No, we had the walk. You're confusing the walk that we took in LA.
No.
Well, okay, go on.
Remember when we walked down the really nice side of that street?
Oh, I do remember that.
With all the trees.
That was like a separate time. Anyways, go on. Finish your story. Doesn't matter where we were. We were in love. That's where we were.
We took a walk down the street that our eventual apartment was on. And we saw all these beautiful trees, and there was like a little church and all these pretty houses.
Nice, yeah. That church does a lot of food drive where they sell food. It's great.
It's great. And we talked about what we individually wanted for our futures.
Yeah. And we talked about if we were going to move in together. Teresa said, well, I only want to move in with someone if I know we're going to get married. And I said, oh, yeah, we're going to get married. And it's important to note, at that point, we were only 3 months into dating.
Yeah. And we talked about like how many kids we envisioned for ourselves, and where talked about our families. And it was just wonderful.
Somebody asked in the chat, how come I don't do Monster Factory? It's because when Monster Factory started, it was on Vox. It was on Polygon. And I, at the time, didn't work for Vox and still don't work for Polygon. So they developed the whole thing. Well, I don't work for Vox now. It's not important. We partnered with them to help build our website and our YouTube channel. But I didn't work for Polygon. And so they started Monster Factory without me, if you can believe it. They got rid of that third heat. Katie asked, who's your favorite supernatural character so far? It's got to be Cass. I just love, and like I said, I'm only on season 8, but I love all the stuff they've done with them. This question here, if you would read that one.
Steve asks, how does it feel that your wife is substantially cooler than you?
It feels great, Steve. Thank you for asking.
I wouldn't say I'm substantially
I totally accept it, and I'm proud of it, and it makes me feel great.
No,
Kate asks, I love Teresa's personal style and would love to hear how that evolved and where she shops.
Let's see. I shop on ModCloth. I also shop Unique Vintage. So here's the deal. I love the 40s, 50s aesthetic, and I really always have. It kind of celebrates the hourglass, which is my body type at the moment. Well, who am I kidding? It's always my body type. But because I am in between regular size and not regular size, let's say rack size and plus size.
Oh. They're playing. Ignore them.
Okay. I'm in between rack size and plus size. So I I can't really wear vintage. And I love vintage. There was this amazing store in LA that I used to go to all the time called Play Clothes. It was fantastic. Everything was beautiful, but I had a hard time finding anything that really fit me. So I use reproduction as the way that I style myself.
Yeah.
Kind
of a nice balance between like 75% vintage and 25% more of a modern cut. It works the same for me because the vintage style of like the broad shoulder triangle shape dude works for my body type, but also most of the vintage clothes you find tends to be smaller than I could wear. So I tend to get a lot of vintage cut style shirts
that are made
now.
Yeah. And I don't like jeans. I've never really liked jeans.
I can't remember the last time you wore jeans.
And I don't really like shorts either. I just feel so much more comfortable in dresses and skirts. So I don't even own any jeans. And I think I just got some shorts to go like under skirts because with the 2-year-old I'm on the floor and up and down and all that stuff. So I got some like stretchy like bicycle shorts, I guess, if you're from that era.
Somebody asked if this is where we record Schmanners. Teresa does sit in this chair, but I sit at my desk because if I sit in this chair, I get way too comfortable and I might fall asleep. How about this one right there from Matt?
Matt Rabel?
You don't need to give last name. That's fine. Little anonymity. It's all right.
Says, if y'all could write, direct, produce, star in a movie adaptation of any video game, what would it be? Oh, what is the video game with Elizabeth?
Yes, that's actually what I was about to say. This is how well my wife knows me. Yes.
BioShock.
Infinite. It's the game. It's probably the modern game, like the game as an adult I've played the most. That isn't like, PUBG or Overwatch or something. So I have replayed through BioShock Infinite probably 12 times.
That's the one up in the clouds, right?
Correct. Yeah. Teresa likes to watch and play video games as one might watch a movie. So when I log in, for example, to Elder Scrolls Oblivion, or what's that? Whatever.
What's the one with the cat man?
That's it. I'll log in and she goes, "How's your cat man?" Or "How's your wife?" Because in the Elder Scrolls games, you can often get married. And so
I also liked the one where you played a kind of like lizard lady.
A lizard lady? Was that Dragon Age? No.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was the first time through Dragon Age, right?
I don't know.
No.
That might have been a different.
It was a while ago. You played a lesbian lizard lady.
That might have been a different Elder Scrolls. Hey, too rough.
That was like
Buttercup gets too rough.
There was definitely magic, and there were the two factions, not Templars. That's a different game.
Yeah.
But they were like Magi or something that y'all
Maybe
were.
It is Dragon Age?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Where she had the horns?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was Dragon Age. We're talking about Dragon Age here. I would also be in a Dragon Age movie, hands down. Let's see. This is from Jordan. What's your number one piece of wisdom for being married while you or your spouse has to travel all the time? I would say, especially if you have to travel, spend as much time as you can together beforehand and after. And if you have to travel a bunch for work, make sure you plan trips together that are just for fun. Because that's something that early on when we started doing tours more often, we would travel so much for work that then like trying to schedule just like a fun trip seemed like, more travel. But traveling for work is so different than traveling for fun together. And so make sure that you're doing both.
We also FaceTime a lot.
Yeah.
Because, BB misses her daddy.
I don't travel that much without you, though. Only when I have to do like weird one-off conferences kind of thing. But even then, love those conferences. Got one coming up, Denver, middle of Denver. See you there. This is from Lisa. If podcasts didn't exist, what would be your ideal career? I think that I would probably, now knowing what I know now, want to be some kind of like humorist, writer, performer, which maybe feels like a bit of a cop out because it's very similar to what I do now. But I didn't know how much I loved just like getting up in front of an audience and being myself and like reading my own stuff or saying my own stuff and being funny. So I think something like that, very like David Sedaris or a lot of like what Nick Offerman does.
Is it kind of a cop out to say actress?
No.
I mean,
that's what you have your degree in.
I have a degree in musical theater. I went to school. I really enjoy musical theater. I guess it would be that, or probably teacher.
Oh yeah, you'd be great at that.
I used to do a lot of I was a lifeguard instructor, and so I taught lifeguarding, first aid, CPR, swim lessons, all that kind of stuff. And I was pretty good at that too.
Real quick, we're going to do more questions. MaximumFun.org/donate. We are the host of Schmanners, but there's also lots of other shows on Maximum Fun, lots of other McRae shows on Maximum Fun. And if you are a fan of them, please consider going to donate. When we hit 10,000, we have a hair tutorial video that Teresa shot of how to do a retro heat set.
Part one.
We have part 2 that will come out when we hit 12,000. Yeah, come on. We're going to get there. But you need to be a part of that action. So you can see that video. MaximumFun.org/donate. Real quick, advice for getting first time getting a tattoo. Yes. Make sure you have a good meal beforehand. Be well hydrated. And breathe out a lot. So like you'll have a tendency to like tense and like hold your breath when they start or like when they go in with the needle. Make sure you keep breathing regularly. Don't tense up. And you're going to be tempted to just like stare at the tattoo happening. Don't do that. I have found recently that like putting in headphones or like my phone in the other hand or whatever I'm doing so that I can be distracted from it. Liz asks, favorite Great British Bake Off underdog who you wanted to win but didn't make it?
Oh.
Can I count Martha in there?
Yeah, I think that we can say Martha.
My dear sweet Martha.
Oh man, and she's on Tastemade UK.
Oh really?
If you follow that on Facebook, which is where I follow it, and she's got some really great stuff. She has a cookbook. Also, what is the name of the young Scot who wore vests?
I know who you're talking about. Wait,
jumpers? I mean,
I know who you're talking about.
He wore sweaters.
Yes, but I can't remember.
John?
Maybe John. No, John won.
No, John won. Excuse me while Teresa
Googles it. The guy with glasses? Who, like, all of his stuff always, like, okay, she's talking about the dude who, like...
James, thank you.
Who built a thing, like, he tried to build a farmhouse or something.
Yes.
And then it didn't work, and he tried to like say like this is what I was playing the whole time.
Such a maverick.
I didn't care for him.
I liked him a lot. That season was so close. That was a really great.
That was a great season. But the first one that went up on Netflix, we've seen all of them at this point. The first one that went up on Netflix, it's so hard for me with Richard. Maybe Richard is one of my favorite. I really like Richard's work.
Yeah, Richard was good, but I still think that Nancy deserved to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, let's not have this fight again. But my favorite thing,
I also love Nadia.
Oh yes, but she won.
Of course.
Yeah. If you've ever listened to Adventure Zone Commitment, Nadia is named after Nadia. I also, if I ever made a parody of Great British Bake Off, one of the things that I like, so there's always the person who's definitely going to be the first person out in the first week, and it's somebody who like cuts off the end of their finger and like drops a bowl and like burns everything and their oven explodes, and like I just always think it's like, here's 12 great bakers, 11 of them might win. And it's always so clear the person who's going out the first week because they just like literally melt down. This is from, I'm going to say Kyler. As someone getting married in May, what advice would you give on making it through the first year of marriage? Communication.
Yeah. That
feels like such an obvious answer, but like Teresa and I will have discussions even now, 9 years into our relationship. That's real. We have been dating.
Really?
We've been dating for at least.
We've been together.
And we've been married for 5.5 at this point. We had our 5-year anniversary at New York Comic. It's not important.
That's true. No, that was the 6-year anniversary.
No, that was 5 year.
Whatever.
That's great. We got married in 2013.
Okay. All right, fine.
And so you got to have conversations. Even like we'll have very clinical sounding often, where it says like, oh, like, hey, I want you to know right now in this moment, because you said this, I am feeling this way, and I know you didn't mean it this way, but this is how I took it. And it can really feel weird to say it that way, but that's so much better than saying I'm mad at you, which conveys nothing and doesn't help anything. So a lot of I statements, a lot of right now I feel this way because this thing happened, and I want you to know it's not about this, it's about this thing. And like sometimes being that explicit in your conversation, it can be a weird kind of habit to get into, but once you start doing it, it's a lot easier to understand where the other person is coming from and not feel like, well, they're just mad at me.
And here's the thing. There's a difference between being nice and being kind.
Yes.
Because I think, I mean, even today, you think that you're being nice by not bringing up the little things, right? And you think that you're being nice by sacrificing yourself, your needs for the other person. But all of those things add up. They all escalate into that big fight that nobody wants to have.
It's so important because here's the thing. If something feels important to you, don't convince yourself that it's trivial.
Yeah.
It's really easy to be like upset about something, but convince yourself like it's not worth saying anything because this is dumb and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is like, because this is something I tell myself all the time. Teresa loves me. So if something is important to me, it is important to her and vice versa. So there's no such thing as a trivial thing that upsets you. If it
so
upsets
like in
you,
the first year of our marriage, we had fights about cleanliness, like picking up the house, where I would do it and feel put upon because Travis wouldn't do what I thought was the chore for both of us. But I let it go for so long that it blew up into an argument, and he didn't even know how I felt at all about doing it. It was like it was invisible to him because I hadn't said anything.
That I think that also is a thing. A lot of like I'm pretty sensitive to like tones of voice in a way I think more than most people are. And that's the thing most people don't even recognize they're doing. And if you can say like, hey, I understand what you mean, but the way you said it made it sound like this, like that kind of like discussion. Like I said, it can oftentimes seem trivial, but I think it's very important to have those conversations. Sam asks, Teresa, what has been your favorite topic you guys have talked about on Schmanners? And what's a topic you haven't done that you would be really excited to do in the future? Well, actually, your mom just pitched us a topic that we're going to do for next week.
From the Facebook group.
From Schmanners Fanners.
Yeah, let me clear something up really quickly. When I say Fanrun Facebook group, I mean I am a member of the Facebook group,
but we're hardly ever in there.
We don't do anything in it. I don't do member requests.
We're not mods.
I don't moderate conversations. We don't
do anything.
Comments.
We're just in there. What is it? Skulking? Lurking.
We post about the new shows coming up.
Yeah.
And questions. But other than that, like, it's for the fans. It's not for us. So my mom is a member, and she said that there was a suggestion about gum chewing, which I am very excited
we're going to do that for next week.
I do have to say, it's a toss-up. My two favorite were thank you notes.
The first one.
The very first one. I was so into it. And then Emily Post biography.
Emily Post is my favorite, hands down.
Loved it. That was fantastic.
Oh, man. Emily Post blew my mind.
I had no idea. Such a rich life
so
she
interesting.
led.
Michelle asks, I attended Griffin's lecture at FSU, and in it, he said you handle pre-production duties for my brother and me. What does that process entail for you? It used to entail a lot more because I used to be kind of in charge of scheduling and making sure it happened. But mostly right now, it has to do with the question list, which is kind of like are you getting like jostled by
the because the dogs are back
between the two of them. We're dealing with like 75 pounds of dog back there, folks. I go through the questions, put the question list together, which is kind of the thing that the whole show is based on, as far as I'm concerned. Also, Yahoo Answers, but who cares about those? No, but so I go through about 4,000 plus questions a week and pick out 6.
I do want to say that thanks to Max Fund supporters, Travis has been able to
Get some help?
solicit help for going through those emails because there are so many. We have a wonderful research assistant
who we've mentioned on the show a couple times, Alex. She
Alex.
also goes through the questions for me, and she narrows down 4,000 to about 200, and then I narrowed down 200 to about 6.
Yeah, so that's because of our supporters. That's because of donors
you.
like you.
MaximumFun.org/donate. Oh, hi, Lily.
And that's
Hi,
how.
Whoa! Look at this big pup. Please don't lick my ears. She almost ate an earring out of my ear the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, my
That's
cheater.
how we keep.
Oh, don't
the
pay attention to us.
shows
Keep talking, honey.
Improving. Because it's not just audio quality, it's also about like the freshness that we try and bring to every show. It's not the same thing over and over again. And she has really helped improve.
You're doing great, honey. Keep going.
She's really helped improve the amount of emails that Travis can get through because of her filtering capabilities. And she's also improved the research that I can do for Schmanners. She helps me organize and get it so that I can find a lot better cross references, and I'm not relying on.
She finds a lot of like annotations and put
Right.
like, where did this come from? Is that real? Because sometimes you don't know when you're looking at the internet.
And I rely a lot less on sites like Wikipedia that may or may not be annotated because of her help.
Do that one right there.
From Ohm,
Sure.
or maybe it's M.
One of those.
Potato. I don't know. What Great British Bake Off week would you do the best/worst in?
I would probably do the best in either bread or biscuit, because maybe cake.
No, you do bread.
Bread?
Yeah, you're a lot better at
I would
baking
do
bread.
very badly in any week that had to do with like really finesse work. So like sugar work or like chocolate, I would do bad in chocolate.
Yeah.
I would do really, because so like when we worked,
Animals.
When we worked at the Shakespeare Company, anytime that we had to do like lettering on anything, I would just hand it to Teresa and say like, do this, because like I have a steady hand, but not, I can't do detail work. I get so impatient and just rush straight through it.
Yeah, I would say probably mine would be then if they do like a cookies biscuit week or whatever, sweet biscuits. Oh my gosh, the dogs are causing everything to go crazy.
Lily, you big goofus.
Oh my God. Knocking stuff.
Okay, wait, you're gonna have to help her. Grab her hips.
Okay.
We're birthing this baby. Lily, sit. Oh God, it's all coming apart. Here, hold on. That's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Pull the cable.
Okay.
Sorry for this pop that's about to happen. It's our big dog. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Oh goodness.
Lily walked through a bunch of cables, folks. So you were saying sweet biscuits.
Because I agree. I also have better. I have more precise artistic ability.
Better. Now, what would your bad week be?
Pastry, probably.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any experience. I've always used just like frozen pastry.
Do that one right there from Joseph.
From Joseph. Where did your love of pineapples come from?
I just think they taste so good. I love the tart flavor. No, so when I was growing up, my mom had so pineapples are the universal symbol for like hospitality and welcome. And so when I was growing up, my mom is my mic not when I was growing up, my mom had them all over our house.
Maybe something happened when Lily knocked the
Can you still hear me?
The mixer.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm still coming through. So my mom had them all throughout the house and like in the wallpaper and like everywhere. And so I got really into them from that. And then when my mom passed away when I was 21, and I wanted to get a tattoo for her that wasn't too cliche, I guess. And so I got the pineapple here so that I could remember her. I mean, all right, memorialize would be a better word. And then I also got it on my handshake hand.
No mouth.
So that, hospitality handshake. And then once I did that and started researching ever more, I started to see pineapples everywhere.
It's a very common Southern motif.
Yeah.
Starting back at the Victorian times. And if you want to learn more.
Even more back than Victorian times. Back to colonial times. They used to, this is my favorite pineapple fact, is that back in colonial times, the pineapple was so expensive that you used to be able to rent it by the hour to use as a centerpiece for dinner parties, and then you would have to return it so the next person could use it.
Can you two pickles just chill a minute?
Pickles. Okay. This is from Beck. How did you pick BB's name and nickname?
Oh, well, Barbara is the name.
BB's real name is Barbara.
That's her first name. It is Travis's maternal grandmother's name. Her middle name is Lee, after my grandfather. His name was Robert Lee.
And that's a family. Robert. Yeah.
Yeah. No. That's actually his mother named all of her children after celebrities. So like his name is Robert Lee. One of his brothers' names was Calvin, because of Calvin Coolidge.
Oh, I see.
All this kind of stuff. It's the other name. Anyway, but it's really hard to call a tiny baby Barbara.
Yeah, she just doesn't look like a Barbara. She looks exactly like a BB.
So we shortened it to BB, and BB Lee just really flows so nicely.
We also really like a name that can kind of change over time. So like Barbara can be Barbie or Barb or
Babs.
BB or Babs or whatever. So
Whatever.
like whatever she wants to do. Yes, thank you, Katie. MaximumFun.org/donate. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to check out Schmanners. Support the shows that you love. Let's see. Let's do this one from Alicia.
Alicia says, what's tricky about podcasting with your spouse? Any advice for couples starting on that path? I would have to say the topic has to be right. I actually ribbed him for years about, you have a podcast with everybody. Everybody gets to podcast with Travis.
That is true. I podcasted
Teresa.
with every human being on the planet except Teresa.
But it was because we didn't have just the right topic. We didn't know what the show looked like. And in order for us to really get behind it, I think it took time to figure it out.
I would also say the other, just speaking more of like a practical thing, scheduling. It's really easy. It's really easy to postpone recording when you're both dealing with the same stuff. Like, if BB has a bad night's sleep, or like we can't get her, down for a nap or whatever, and we were supposed to record that night, it's so easy to say like, let's just not, and postpone. So whereas if you're working with more of like a coworker situation, it's a lot harder to say like, let's just not. Yeah. Whereas it's too easy for us to say, yeah, you're right, let's skip. And so that's something you really got to like set a time and stick with it, even if both of you
really just do the best you can to keep it consistent.
Do this one from Baby Needs Snack.
How did your open mouth smile face start in photos? Was it always something you did, or did you do it once and it just stuck?
So for me, it's that I do a lot of photos now, be it with people I'm taking photos with or people taking photos with me. And I, even though I'm very confident, am in a lot of ways still very self-conscious about myself. And I don't know if you can tell from the, I've got Invisaligns in. I'm not crazy about my smile though. Okay, so I have the Invisaligns in because I have a crossbite and my teeth are wearing unevenly. So I have it to pull some teeth forward. But when I smile, I don't really like my face all that much. And so when I would go for pictures with a smile, I couldn't make a face I was comfortable with every time. where I found that I could do the open face and like it and nail the same face every time.
You know, it's just like celebrities talk about red carpet posing.
Yeah.
Everybody always does the like over the shoulder thing or like the arm or whatever. And it just makes you feel good about how you look.
And also, here's the thing. I am honestly pretty enthusiastic all the time. I'm pretty excited to be anywhere all the time. So like it's not forced. Like I'm pretty happy to be places. And so it's a pretty sincere face. And also now I get the added benefit that BB does it. If you say make a happy face, BB goes, and it makes me absolutely thrilled.
Hi, Lily.
People, what's my red carpet pose? It's this. Let's see. This is from Liz. Did you two always know you wanted to have kids? Did anything around that change when you met each other?
I think the number changed.
It's an ongoing. You know, well, I say that like we haven't decided. We're aiming for 2 and done.
I used to say 3 just because my family had 3.
I used to do the same thing.
And I think that's the thing.
But then we had BB.
But lately I'm more like 2 parents, 2 hands,
yes.
2 eyes, 2 kids.
Yeah. So we're both middle children. And so I actually really like the dynamic of 3 kids.
What are you doing?
But for me, it comes down to like with 2, I think that's the most that I could handle right now. But then, you know, what she got? A leaf?
A leaf.
Okay.
Weirdo.
Maybe once we have 2, we'll change our mind. We'll see. But I've always wanted to have kids. I've wanted to be a parent since I was 18, passively. I've not been trying to be a parent since I was 18, mind you. I wanted to wait until I was in a relationship. Teresa has a feeling that just popped out today. This poor sweet angel. But yesterday. But I think
I drank some cold drink.
But I think you wanted to be a mom, right? Yeah, we wanted to be kids forever. Let's see. This is from Brian. What are your favorite board games to play as a couple and with friends? As a couple, anything non-competitive. Teresa isn't competitive at all.
I also don't like board games where
where you lie,
where you have to lie.
She's which makes it really hard to play bluffing games against her because you're like, maybe she is bluffing this time. She's never bluffing. So we do a lot of like Sushi Go and Roll for It. Anything where it's like, this is the game that you sit and you play.
What's that one with the coins and the camels and the...
Oh, Jaipur, I think it's called. Yeah.
I like that one.
Where it's the trading game. That one's really fun. As far as playing with other people...
well, and we also like fun games like... apples to apples,
anything like that. The Game of Things is a good one. But as far as with people goes, I'm looking over my shelf right now.
We played Settlers of
Catan, Show from Nottingham.
I have not played that game. I hate
she doesn't like lying.
Dominion?
Munchkin. What?
Munchkin and Dominion.
We play. Yeah, we like playing games with people. Let's see. Do this one here from Braxton.
Braxton asks, what are your favorite 3 restaurants in Cincinnati? Ichiban. Oh my gosh, we love Ichiban.
Ichiban
that's in Mount Lookout.
Mount Lookout.
Oh.
They have half-price sushi all the time, which makes
and they
you
have
wonder.
The best calamari. It's so
I do love it. Somebody said Illimat in the comments. I do love Illimat. It's just not really her thing, so I haven't gotten to play that much. Let's see. Ichiban Gaslight Cafe in Pleasant Ridge, according to Cincinnati Magazine, has the 3rd best burger in the city. I think it's the 1st best, especially for the price.
Yeah, when you weigh in the price, it's a must.
$5 for an amazing burger.
Oh, we also like Italianate pizza.
Italianate pizza, I think, has the best pizza. I like the Eagle in OTR. It's some of the best.
Good fried chicken.
Best fried chicken, but also they have this like pan cornbread. And also the sweet potato casserole they have is amazing.
We're moving away from 3 because
I know.
we loved food.
I know. Carlo and Johnny, if you're looking for like a fancy special occasion, some of the best steak I've ever had in my entire life.
We also love Taste of Belgium.
Taste of Belgium. Oh, so good. That's more than 3. We cheated. Cat. Has supernatural influenced the way I play Aubrey? Yes, absolutely. You comment on the we're FBI thing. But I think it is influenced in the way that any Monster of the Week procedural, for lack of a better word, influences it. So like Buffy, Angel, I've watched some Charmed, and now Supernatural. Of like mostly a lot of it is like I watch it and I think this is a good habit, and I wish they would just say this. So there's a lot of that in Supernatural where one, I'm constantly like, just tell each other you love each other. I think that every episode. And two, that like just tell this person the truth. Just say, hey, here's what it is. You're about to die. Listen to me. So I try to play that a lot more. Let's see. Savannah says, would you guys ever consider doing a cooking show on YouTube like the stream yesterday? It was so relaxing and fun. Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? Fox.
I don't know if we could do a cooking show together.
No, we have different styles.
We have very different styles of cooking.
Mine is a lot more, I hope this goes well. And Teresa preps a lot more than I do. Maybe it'll be fun to watch us try to do it together and everything fall apart. No. This is from Fox. What are your best tips for beginner podcasts? I would say don't wait to be ready, which is the advice they give in a lot of different things. Start recording, and then if you don't like it, delete it or edit it or whatever.
It's not live, so you can always
not like this.
You can always record more and fix it before you put it up.
Yeah, that's the thing is like you learn doing it on the job, right? And so you can only think about something so much before you just have to start doing it. And so, you know, at this point, my brother and me, we've done 450 some episodes. And I feel like every year I finally feel like I'm getting it. So like record an episode. If you don't like it, edit it and then see if you like it. Don't just delete it outright. Edit it and then see if you like it. It's hard for me to say edit it. Thank you, Lisp. Edit it and then see if you like it. And if you still don't like it, record it again, try again. And like when I started Bunker Buddies with Andy, we did like 8 or 9 test episodes before we found a format we liked. And even then we changed the format after doing it for 2 years and liked that format way better. It's okay.
I want to say thank you, Lena, for supporting Max Fun. That's what this live stream is about.
MaximumFun.org/donate. When we hit 10,000 new and upgrading donors, we have a hair tutorial from Teresa that I edited that's super good that we're going to put out. Penguinesia asked, Penguinesia, not important. Do you have a favorite tea? Depends on the time of day. If it's the morning or early afternoon, for me, it's a chai. I like chai a lot. If it's the afternoon or evening, like any kind of non-caffeinated like mint is usually my favorite.
Can I say that I usually doctor up most teas to include probably 2 sugars and like half milk.
So does everyone.
Really matter.
So does everyone. Like that's the thing. If you're talking about sitting down to tea, I think it's better to go with some kind of like
a Darjeeling,
like an English breakfast. Because that's the thing is like, if I love mint, right? And I love like a berry or some kind of tea or chai, right? But at a certain point, if you're having plate full of food and like both savory and sweet, you want a tea that's pretty much tea flavored, you know, like an English breakfast or something like that, where it's not overpowering. It's going to complement either like a sandwich or a pastry. And so that's why I think going with some kind of black tea is the best way to go if you're talking about for tea time.
I'm not really a super like tea on its own drinker. I prefer hot chocolate.
Yeah, and I prefer coffee. But if we're doing tea time, it's tea. We love a tea time. Now that brings us to our next and final question from Amy. What's your favorite shared activities?
Oh,
tea time. We do like tea time. Anything posh. Teresa and I both really enjoy posh things. So like a multi-course dinner we enjoy, a tea time we enjoy, horseback riding. We are posh people.
We have not even been horseback riding since
No, listen, we don't seek it out. But if the opportunity arises, we'll take it. Listen, we're not going to buy a yacht, but if someone says, do you want to go on my yacht? We'd be like, yeah, I want to go on your yacht. But we're not going to buy a yacht. We are secondhand posh people.
Okay,
yeah.
fine.
We also, though, I would say more than any of that, we like lazing around. And I think that for a long time, I didn't consider like just sitting around, like watching TV or hanging out a hobby. I thought that was the thing you did instead of hobbies. But when it comes down to it, like binging a TV show or rewatching a TV
when
show.
we watch TV, we don't just watch the TV. We talk to each other.
We talk, especially if it's like Parks and Rec, which we've watched through like 8 or 9 times at this
Bob's
point.
Burgers.
We have like conversations about where I'll be like, "What do you think about this guy? Oh, do you think that this means this?" And so it's a very like active watching. But we really like doing that. We like traveling together.
We do.
We do that a lot, whether it's for work or just like for fun. And we like doing things with BB. I mean, BB is very interesting and fun.
We love to take her places just to let her walk around.
It's so fun watching her. I took her to St. Patrick's Cathedral when we were in New York, and she just walked around the whole time going, ooh. And it was like, I don't even know if she knew what she was doing it at, but there were just bright lights and shiny things, and she was like, ooh.
So like one of our favorite things when we don't have anything to do in an afternoon is to just take her to the mall.
Yeah.
And walk around with her. We ask her questions and smell candles.
And she'll walk up. She does love smelling candles. And to the point where we had to stop buying like the votives because they would have lip prints in them where she would hold them so hard up to her face they would melt against her lips. She's the best. But she's also really well behaved. So like we'll walk up to the door of a store, she'll look around and say, "Do you want to go in there?" And she'll go, "No," and walk away from the store. It's like, cool. Or she'll pick something up and you'll say, "Do you want to buy that?" And she'll go, "No," and put it back. And you're like, "Okay, cool." And so, we just, this sounds like a dorky fake thing that we're saying for the stream, but we really just like spending time together. And with friends. I think we are both social in as much as the people we have chosen to be social with, we love being around. And so I think anything that is like an excuse to hang out with our friends, an excuse to hang out with each other, an excuse to hang out with family, an excuse to hang out with BB. Has BB traveled internationally? Yeah, she been to Mexico on the cruise last year. She went to London and Ireland.
So England and Ireland.
Yeah. Has she been anywhere else? Does the Caribbean
Canada?
count? No, she didn't go to Canada with us. She wasn't born yet.
Oh, I guess.
No, just Charlie went with us that time. She was only about 9 months old at that point. But yeah.
The Caribbean.
BB has traveled more now than I did before I was 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a map with like scratch off things for like the states for her. And at this point, I think she and I have been to the same amount of states. We're excited to go to Utah next week. That'll be my first time. Oh, I'm excited. So let's see. So I think that's going to bring us to the end.
Oh, hey, I want to say there were several people in the live chat who were saying that they were donating. And hey, you should tweet at us. Either tweet at Travis McElroy or Teresa McElroy
at
Schmannerscast. You tweet at us that you have donated. We will thank you. We will reply and comment. Thank you.
One more that I'm seeing here in the chat that I really want to talk about. Wolfgang said, "What TV shows do you watch with BB?" Our go-to, the one that she wants to watch always the most, is Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. So it's based off of the Land of Make-Believe from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And it is an animated show about Daniel Tiger and his friends. And the thing that's great about it, one, lots of really catchy, repeatable songs. But the lessons are mostly emotional maturity lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I mentioned earlier, teaching a 2-year-old about empathy. Yeah. And they really go for that.
They do that. They think like when you're frustrated, when you're feeling frustrated, take a step back and ask for help, and stuff about like taking a deep breath, counting to 4, say what you're feeling, all of these things that like
use your words, use your words
that have really made an impact on her. Like that we can say like, "Hey, take a breath," and she puts her hand on her chest and goes, and like it helps. It really does legitimately help. They do a whole episode about potty training. Mm-hmm. When you have to go potty, stop and go right away. That was very instrumental in our potty training with her.
She is already completely potty trained day and night, and I credit Daniel Tiger with really starting that that interest.
Yeah. And also we watch a lot of Vampirina.
That's her new show.
Yeah, we like that one a lot.
She was also into Little Einsteins and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, which occasionally she'll be in the mood for. But at the
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is a lot. It's a lot more story driven.
Yeah.
Vampirina is too, where I think Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood is repeated. Same with Little Einsteins. It's repeated. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Vampirina are a lot more story driven. We
also watch Bob's Burgers a lot.
She likes that. She likes
that show. She can pick out Bob and Linda and Tina and Jean and Louise. So
somebody said she'd like Steven Universe. I think she will when she's older. I think a lot of the emotional arcs are a little beyond her right now, but yeah, eventually. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us. Listen, if you like Schmannercast, if you like McElroy content, if you like the stuff that we do, please consider going to McElroy. Oh nope, that's our thing. McElroy.family is where our stuff is. MaximumFun.org/donate, and consider becoming a donor. Consider becoming a member. Support the shows that you love, and when you do, not only do you get a warm fuzzy feeling, you also get different rewards, including at $5, and I think that's really the biggest get. At $5, over 200 hours of bonus content that you're not going to see or hear anywhere else. MaximumFun.org/donate. Honey, is there anything else you want to say before we go?
Well, I want to check that counter because if we get to 10,000, we can.
Let's see how close we are.
We can release that hair tutorial, and if you guys like it, I would love to do more.
Let's see. The same with the cooking live stream. If you're watching it, okay. So right now we're at 8,600 and change. So we need 1,400 to get that hair tutorial out. So what are you waiting for? MaximumFun.org/donate. Go now. Thank you for joining us. And listen, this stream is going to be up. It's here on our YouTube. So if you enjoy it, go to Twitter and say, hey, go check this out and share the link. Everybody have a good night. You are great. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.